Welcome back everyone to Data Science for Everyone. Today we're going to be looking at linked interactions with bokeh. Let's get started. So first off, let's go on and start up a new program here, and a new script, and let's call this something like bokeh links and interactions.py. Now, we're just going to do some of the basic linking and interacting functions now, and in a later episode, we'll be talking about custom JS links and scripts. So let's just kind of pass over that for now. Now, the great thing about bokeh is that we're actually able to create various interactions with different bokeh plots. So, for instance, we can have ranges of 2 or more plots, and we can link those. Okay, we can also add in so that there's some zooming. Okay, so if we zoom in or pan inside of one piece of a grid, it'll actually show up and do the same thing with another. So let's go on and start with something like from bokeh.plotting. We're going to import in here figure and show. And then we also want to go from, you know what, I think let's do from bokeh.layouts. We're going to import the grid plot. And I think that's going to be all for now. Let's go on and we'll start out with making something that does, so we're going to make a linked pan. And so this one will be so whenever we move one grid, the other one's going to move as well. And so let's go on and we'll redo some of the data that we've done in the past. Range 11, and then we'll do here y0, y1, y2 is going to be x. We also want something like 10 minus I for I in x, and then we also want in here something like the absolute value of I minus 5 for I in x. And then let's do something a little bit different, okay? So we're going to create some options in here, and we will make a dictionary, and we'll say something like our width is equal to 500, and I want this to be plot width, and then we'll do our plot height is going to be 500, and then we'll say our tools is going to be, we want the pan, and then we want the wheel zoom, and then let's go on and create up our plot. So here we're going to create 2 plots, and we'll call this F1 for figure 1. And so let's do figure here, and we want X range here is going to be, let's unpack our options. And this, so those of you that don't know, this double star here will unpack this dictionary that we've created up here. And then let's do F1 dot circle in here, and we want X, Y0, size here is going to be 10, and our color here is going to be fire brick. And then let's go on and create our second one. We'll call this F2, and this will be figure. Now we want to, what we're actually wanting to do here is, let me actually put a note in here. We want things to, the new plot or new figure will share, okay, both ranges, okay, of figure 1. Okay, so what we will do here then is something like X range is equal to our F1 dot, and then here we're actually going to do X underscore range, and then we do Y underscore range. Here is going to be F1 dot Y underscore range. Okay, and so then this is going to link those two, and then again we're going to unpack our options. And then we will do something like F2 dot, let's do triangle. You know what, let's do squares here. Square, and then here we'll do X, Y1, size is going to be 10, color here will be navy. And then let's do one more figure, and we'll do something like figure 3 is equal to figure, and then this one is going to share the same one, but it's only going to share, let's say, the X range. And then again, we will unpack our options. F3 here dot triangle, and then X, Y2, size here is going to be 10, and our color will be our nice pretty olive color. So then let's go on and create up our proper plot. This is going to be our grid plot, and we're going to pass in F1, F2, F3. And then let's go on and show our plot. And again, it may take it a second to load. And what did it not like? Figure is not iterable. So let's go on and check where it did not like some. Oh, okay, sorry about that. So what happened here is this actually needs to be a double list. Okay, so what we could do is say something like figures is equal to this, and then we can put that inside of new figures. So now here we have our, and let me maybe zoom out a little bit so we can see that. So what we see here is we have our 3 plots, okay? And when we notice here, both of these, the F1 and F2, can move every direction that they want to together, but this third one is only sharing that x-axis. So if I move these up and down, it does not move, but if I move it left and right, they're going to move as well. Okay, so this is going to be linking all of our axes, so then we can move along with them as well. So I find this to be very useful for when we're doing some financial data. Okay, and you have maybe like 2 graphs with financial transaction data for 2 different stock prices or something, and then when you pan them left and right or up and down, they move together in sync. And we'll do an example of that sort probably here in maybe a couple videos. So let's go on and add in another type of feature, and this is going to be linked brushes. Okay, and so I'm actually going to, do I want to reuse this data? No, I don't want to reuse this data. So let's go on and create a new file, and I'm going to save this, and we'll call this bokeh links and interactions 2.py. And so again, we do from bokeh.plotting, we're going to import our figure and our show, and then we also want to do from bokeh.models. Here we're going to actually do the column data source, so we get used to that again. X here is going to be the same type of data that we had before, range to -20 to 20. And then we'll do y0 and y1. Here is going to be something like the absolute value of a for a in x. And then we also want in here something like b squared for b in x. And then we will say something like source in our data, and we'll grab our column source. And then here we want, actually, you know what? I want to create a data dictionary in here, and we'll say something like x is equal to x, y0 is equal to y0. not y1 is equal to y1, and then we will call in data is equal to data. And then let's go on and make a list of our tools. Okay, and then we will do something like, what do we want? We want the box selection tool, because what we're actually creating here is going to be linked brushing. So let me maybe put that at the top here. Linked brushing. And so let me kind of discuss what linked brushing is. Linked brushing is going to be where we want to highlight a specific section of the data in one plot or one figure, and then it will highlight that same subset in the other side. Okay, and so it's a very useful thing, particularly when you have large scale data, and we'll do some of those later on once we play with these little toy data sets. We want the lasso select, and we want help. And so then let's go on and create figures. And we'll do F1 here and do figure, and we want tools is going to be tools. We want width is equal to 500, and plot width is 500, and plot height is equal to 500, and then what do we want here? Hold on, my computer kind of froze up for a second there. All right, and then let's go on and create it. So f1.circle, and we want just x, whoops, why not here, and source is going to be source. Then let's go on and create another one, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually grab this whole thing, and hold on just a second. And so what we're going to do is actually go on and put this in, I'm going to put this in just an options dictionary, so that we can reuse that and we don't have to retype this over and over. I want to start getting us used to that particular usefulness, at least. So let's go on and create a figure 2 here, and again we want our options to be based out of that, and let's do f2 dot triangle, and we want here x and y1. Source is equal to source, and then again we're going to do our figures list here is going to be f1, f2, and then we are going to make sure and create a plot here, and this will be in here grid plot, and we forgot to import that. So let's grab that and put that up here with our layouts from bokeh.layouts. We're going to import our grid plot. Go back down to the bottom here, grid plot, and again we want our figures. And then let's go on and show our plot, and you guys will get to see our brushing technique. Okay, so you can see here that we have the 2. Maybe we wanted to make this a little bit bigger, and we'll maybe make it bigger here in a second. But if you notice here, I am highlighting, and it highlights the sections where they overlap. Okay, so here and here. So if I go through and I re-highlight here, they have these linked highlights going on here and here, here and here. Okay, so that again, that makes it very nice, particularly whenever you're maybe looking at stock data, or you're wanting to be able to compare 2 graphs and say, oh, I have this subset here that I'm interested in, and you see it again linked to some other plotting source. Okay, and again, I find that extremely useful for us to use. And let me go on and let's maybe do one more example for linking, and that's with some hover tools. Okay, we've dealt with hover tools before, but I think maybe you guys are pretty interested in. You guys have kind of been asking about it, so let's do bokeh hover tools example.py, and let's call this example. Yeah, I'll just do this example because I'll have a couple more examples later on. So again, from bokeh.plotting, we're going to import in here figure. We're going to import show. And then we also want to go in and say from bokeh.models, we're going to import the hover tool. And then let's go on and create up some source data. Let's do data here is going to be some dictionary. X is equal to what? List, range. No, I'll just do something very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y is going to be 2, 5, 7, 3, 7. Let me make that 9. And then we'll have some sort of description variable. Let me just call this a letter. And then we'll do something like list A, B, B, C, D, E. And then let's go on and create our source here. And then we need to, again, go here. And if we want our, let's actually pull that up here. We want column data source. So our column data source here, source is equal to, data is equal to data. And then let's go on and create our hover tool in here. And the hover tool itself, okay, takes in tooltips. And it's going to take in a list. Oops, and I don't want it that way. I want a list. And then it's going to take in some tuples in here. So we want something like index here, and then it's going to be index. And then we want something like, well, let's grab the X and Y coordinates. So we want X and Y coordinates. And then let's go on and put in $X, comma, $Y, parentheses, and that'll give us a nice visual there. And then let's do one more, and we'll call this letter. And then this is the @ sign because it's going to be grabbing from that data set, letter. All right. Okay, that looks good. So then let's go on and actually create up our figure. So, and this is what technically we're doing here is we are linking our data. Okay, so if you're wondering why and how is this actually linking the data itself, well, here we're using the $sign in order to grab specific values. And then we're also going to be using this @ sign in order to grab some sort of item as well from that data. Okay, and you'll see this here in just a second whenever we get this example up and running. So let's do our plot width here is going to be 500. Our plot height here will be 500, and then let's give it our tools. Here is going to be hover, and please notice that I'm putting this inside of a list. Okay, and then we also want to give it some sort of title and say something like hover over the scatter plot. And so then we'll do p dot circle, and then x, y, and then we want source is equal to source, and let's give it a size here of 30. Make them nice and big. Show p. So then now we see we have a normal scatter plot, but whenever we hover over them, notice we have our index, and it was at 2, and then we have actually, again, it's not exact, it's doing, look, if we, anywhere inside here, it's actually giving us the XY coordinates because they are so big, but at the exact center is where the exact number would be. So again, we have, and again, it's telling us the letter B, it's giving us some sort of description. So then this is very useful for when, so we'll use this exact type of linking when we do the Gapminder data set later on, and we'll be able to link up, for example, the country name as well as some of the statistics of the country, and that's going to be very, very helpful and useful to us in the future. So guys, that's the end for this. If you guys like this, please comment, subscribe, and hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.